I've just bumped into him at the farming conference, and I bumped into this lady whose name is written, and it is...
Deputy Raluca Kovacs.
So I'm looking now to try and speak to a farm worker, somebody who actually does it. They're talking about farming, the grand concept, and the money that should be allowed to develop farms, innovation, all this sort of thing. But where are the guys who do the work? Are they here? Are they consulted?
I'm actually very interested to find out which the farmers are and speak with them and see their views, because as this presentation highlighted, farming does matter, and I think this subject has been long overdue to be supported and needs more encouragement. I'm very enthusiastic to see that actually the minister is supporting this area and needs to be expanded, especially in this food crisis that we're seeing, an economic crisis. We need to work towards being more self-sufficient, although we won't achieve it completely. Every step towards that matters.
We've heard so far nothing about farm workers' accommodation. We heard about old farm buildings, glass houses being turned into farm uses, but no talk about turning glass houses into farm workers' accommodation. Do you think that is ought to be on the agenda?
I really hope it's going to be considered, and that there are questions to be asked also to the minister in what way he's looking to support this farming industry. As well, we've seen that the pressure of the minimum wage on farmers, it's real, because they also consider accommodation and food into that salary that they get is not just the minimum wage, which in my opinion should be also included.
Unfortunately, they've got music on as well. They're doing everything to drown this conversation. So if it doesn't come out, don't be too disappointed.
No
but what's your feeling about you're obviously most in touch with Romanian community. They're part of the community. Are they staying in agriculture, or are they leaving agriculture?
We know that they have the temporary workers coming and helping the agriculture industry, and I think they bring valuable support. We'll see how this goes in this economic crisis, how it's going to continue, but also the licensing for this type of workers needs to be supported. My passion in the field is because my studies are also in economics with applicability in agriculture and rural development, and I still have connections back home, which I'm hoping to kind of bring into equation to have collaborations and support this farming industry as well. So we'll see what it comes out.
A lot of the farm workers who come here will take their whatever wages they are left at the end of the season, they'll take it home. So it doesn't actually benefit the Jersey economy that much, does it? In other words, they're taking money out of Jersey. They work here, they obviously contribute.
They're still paying their share of taxes here, and they're still helping the industry to strive, because there are not enough people locally that want to work in that industry to sustain it on long term. So it's kind of a mutual...
Couldn't you suggest, or should it be suggested, that they don't pay any tax at all? If they're a short-term worker, as it is now, they don't get the benefits. Why should they be tax-free?
They are taxed locally, but I know that from here and other jurisdictions as well, there is the option to reclaim some sort of taxes depending on the length of period you worked here, but that's to be done while back home and consider you're not coming back, kind of thing.
I mean, they're talking about giving money to farmers in the way of grants. Why don't they give money to farm workers to induce them to come here? Say, look, you come here, we'll give you £1,000 to come and work this season.
Giving money to the farmers, especially with the licensing and the visas that they need to apply for the farm workers to come, that's also supporting that part, because it's quite a costly process and not everyone will have the fund to invest in that.
I hope we can have a longer chat out of the noise. But thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.